We are live and welcome you to our program once again. As usual, Dr. Haynes on call for you. And we had a little late start because, not because of the studio was ready, but the taxi driver got stuck on the road. The taxi driver, and it's not funny, but the holes that we talk about, I spoke about last week, one of those holes that that became a trench-like with some huge truck. Apparently, they heard me and they dumped some calcine, or someone did, but never rolled it properly. You know, they just allowed it to maybe, I don't know, settle in, and the taxi driver had to choose where to drive. And when he chose the path he did, he got stuck. So I had to come out, and I was happy they didn't have to push him, but I had to come out and kind of guide him back on the right path, and he had to back with his car and all kind of things. Really crazy. But sometimes it's like a like comedian or comic, or you can't help but describe the degradation that we see in a country of this beautiful country we have. The care that's given to infrastructure and the concern for others. I don't know, man. I must be dreaming or something, but I'm not accustomed to this, and I don't think I want to take it too much longer, because I can't keep talking about it, because it irritates me when I do, because I know we can do a lot better, but I can't fix everything here. I can't even I'm not in a position to fix anything. But I don't know if those who are in a position drive the same path I drive, and I don't really drive in bad places. I drive on main roads when I drive. But it's good I didn't drive today. It's funny I was driving today. Very funny I was driving today. And my mind just gave me to not do that, Doc, don't drive. And I'm so happy I didn't, because I would have come the same way, and I would have gotten stuck. And my car is lower than his, and who knows what would happen, Anyway, I'm here, and we got a couple of videos that are going to be shown. We wouldn't take up much of your time. I wanted to touch on something very quickly. We all saw it in the news. Before I get into that, though, I have some sad news about one of our staff, Chrisanne Bourne-Joy, the tall one who if you know the clinic. She lost her dad this week. I knew him to be a healthy, strong man. And when she told me he was ill, I was kind of surprised, because I'd never seen him sick, and I didn't see him as a patient. But when I saw the picture which he took and showed it to me, I said, "Girl, this man looked like he's malnourished." And sure enough, apparently he was seriously lacking in nutrition, and he's an elderly man. Unfortunately, he didn't recover, and he's now gone. His funeral will be, he will be funeralized tomorrow. So you can, if you know Joy or Chrisanne, you can call her when she's at work and express your sympathy. She already has mine. We all have to at some point pass on, but when you pass on because of recklessness or carelessness, it's not something that I would say nice things about. But you can give her your sympathy if you know her, and he'll be funeralized tomorrow. I think I'm not sure where it's going to be. Maybe at Sandy's or one of those Merrimans. I'm not sure. But I don't go to funerals. I don't like to see that side of people. Even though it's a corpse, I prefer to see you when you're alive and know you as I know you, And she knows that. Anyhow, the other thing I want to talk about, we lost 5 guys this week. 5 men who apparently attempted to create or to commit a crime, as is told, and they were all shot dead by the police. And those were 5 sons or uncles or fathers or brothers that have been taken out because of an act that they probably were trying to commit that wasn't right. And it's a sad thing when you see that happen, because it is not a good thing. You know, it makes me sad, because people can do better. You know, I know that there's some people who can't even spell their own names, young people. I know that for a fact. And they can't get jobs because they can't even fill out an application, you know, and they're probably ashamed because of the condition that they're in or the state they're in. But it doesn't mean that they must commit a crime. But we have to find options that can accommodate that type of person, because not everyone is going to be a tie and shirt person in society. A lawyer, you know, we have a lot of people who are not going to be a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer, a mathematician, a teacher. You know, not everyone is cut out for those things. And we have to find a measure that can accommodate those who are not. And, you know, I thought of it and I said, you know something, I talked about it last time in my program, and some people may not agree, but that's fine. You have your opinion, I have mine. We have to give him an option, and we have to give him, I think we have to give him 2 options. And my thinking is, you give them the option of going into an institution that will accept them the way they are, if they're willing to go, and they can learn a skill or trade, or if it's not carpentry or masonry or you know, even making blocks or sewing clothes or being a tailor, being a seamstress. You know, we can teach them. They can have if they have an institution where they can fit into. Some people are very good with their hands, but they're not good with their heads. You know, we must give them an alternative where they can learn, like national service was, and then we give them the other option, the gallows. This is the gallows here, guys. This is the institution over here. Okay, you're down the middle. Now, we know you have these lack of certain capabilities, and we're giving you an option. Choose one or the other. Either you go here and learn a skill and come out and be a contributor in society, or if you commit a crime, this is where you're going to end up. You know, I believe that if you give them an option, they will choose to go and learn something. Okay? These people still have to eat, they have to live, they may have families that they made, you know, and they're going to have to find money somehow. And if we don't give them a means by which they can utilize whatever skills they may have in them, they're going to choose the path of the easy money. And for the most part, they'll end up on the gallows side if they don't have an option. Some people may not agree with that, but it's like the Christian. Many Christians are kept straight because we have the Bible. You know, we can go to church, we can go to a synagogue, we can go to a temple, you know, we can go to a mosque, some of us. We have a reference. And because we are involved in those activities, it helps us to stay straight. You know, what about the person who goes to none of those, that don't have the option? We always say that the devil will find work for idle hands. You know, let's find an institution like National Service. I don't know what is the thinking of those who are in position to make decisions like that, but you know, somehow like something is wrong there, right? But we need to think about those people who are not able to be a white-collar person. Don't leave them out. If you leave them out, they're going to have idle hands, and who knows where they're going to end up. Maybe in your own house or business, right? So it's not something to laugh about or to praise. You know, yes, the act was, if it's correct as it's stated, you know, it shouldn't happen. They shouldn't. What is not yours is not yours. You shouldn't want to possess what is not yours. You know, if you read the Bible, it teaches you all of that. You know, but we have to stop this, and we have to find, we say stopgap situations that we can put in place that can give them an option. We have so many young minds that are coming out of college, universities, and all these things that have nothing to do. You know, some people are saying we're doing okay here. I don't see it. We have a huge percentage of the population that's not working, but they have to survive still. You know? So, I don't know, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what we need to do here. But maybe we need some rocket scientists to come in, because like those who are there don't know what to do. You know? So I'm saying to you people, let's pray for our nation, pray for the leadership, that they can find wisdom and they can see the needs of the people. The needs of the people, not the needs of themselves, or their families, or their friends, or their party members. You know? I honestly think that we need to have people to run this country who are not party members. Business people with common sense, people who are humanitarians. You know, to lead a country in the right path, we need humanitarians who understand what it takes to take care of people, take care of their needs. You know, because that situation stresses a lot of people out, and stress can bring on all kinds of diseases. People can't sleep. I heard the gunshots in my home. And I live far from there. I heard it, Minister 3 in the morning, I heard it. I was awake. I heard it. And I'm saying this is not script, this is not this hour of the morning. It can't be nobody practicing anywhere. It's got to be something wrong. And sure enough, not too long after that, I got the text from a friend of mine who is a media person, and he showed me the picture, and he said, "This is what happened, Doc. This is the noise you heard." Sad. To lose people like that is a sad thing. We don't need it to happen again. You know? And then we have the roads that are, the young lady who came from work that was hit and run. I don't know if they find that person yet. Killed her coming from work. We don't know the circumstances there, but I know that we have potholes all over the place, and people swerve from those potholes. And who knows what is in the path. I had to swerve from one Sunday night. It's a good thing nobody was coming near to me. When I saw the thing, if I'd gone in there, I would have been stuck right there. Seriously, this is on the East Bank. So I don't know if anybody who is an authority drives on those roads, or if they give people the job to fix them who are, I don't know what to call it, but who don't know what they're doing. But we better get serious here, because it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Sorry to say. They ain't getting any better. So buckle up, buckle down. I know it's negative, but it's reality. You know, and some people say we got to pray more. Well, yes, if you could pray all you want, but pray without works is dead, no good, nothing happens. You got to work. You got to fix things. You got to put things in place. If not, nothing is going to come out of it. Prayer is okay, nothing wrong with that, but you got to work. Anyhow, we only have 18 minutes left, and I really can't talk about much. But we got this video that I want to be shown, and then when it's finished, I'm going to open the lines and take some calls. So I'll ask my operator to pick the shortest one and let it play.
This is one of the most dangerous places in Johannesburg, and rape is something which is very common. Diepsloot has some of the highest levels of rape in South Africa.
We'd actually rape your girlfriend with you watching us.
Women and children are being raped. People are being burned to death on our streets. And mob justice rules. My name is Gordon Tika. I first came to Diepsloot more than 17 years ago. I live here with my wife and kids. The community here regularly takes the law into their own hands and kills suspected sexual predators. I've been told that the vigilantes have just attacked a gang of 4 alleged rapists. The air is filled with a pungent smell of burning flesh. The one he lay down here has just been burnt by the residents. The other one is right down there at the stream river. And there's another one lying just across here. Also, he is been burned. They are fed up of crime, and they say they cannot be protected anymore. By now, there is a large police presence, but they seem wary of treating the suspect in case they trigger a riot. It is difficult watching your fellow human being suffering right in front of you. But if I were to intervene, the mob would turn on me. It could cost me my life. But even the threats of being burnt alive seems to have done nothing to stop rapes in Diepsloot. And with so many attacks, most residents either know a victim or a rapist. And I'm no different. I know someone who has raped before. His name is David. I even saved David from vigilantes after he raped somebody. I've been trying to track David down. His ex-girlfriend might be able to help, but she's just dropped a bombshell. After walking her home one night, David attacked her.
He started to push me, trying to force me. I said, no, I don't want. I tried to close my door, and then he picked me up and threw me to the bed. After that,
just take a breath. Just take a breath. You understand?
I get this HIV/AIDS after this happened.
I'm very sorry about that. I can't believe that David has raped again, even after I saved him from mob justice. The next day, I received a call from David. He's heard that I was looking for him, and he's agreed to meet me. How do you feel that you gave her HIV?
I feel okay.
How many men have you taken them by force and slept with them?
Maybe 21, 24.
After all these people, 24 of them that you have mentioned, did you use protection?
No, I didn't use protection.
Do you think you have infected them with HIV?
They know I'm HIV, so I want to spread that HIV.
Do you feel good within yourself that you're spreading it to other people?
I feel good because I can't die alone.
That's why you're spreading that. It makes you feel good. Hey, it's scary, man. You make me feel very scared.
I can't stay 3 days without sex.
Why not?
I'm powerful.
You are powerful.
Yeah, powerful. Powerful guy.
Do you agree with me if I say you are a dangerous man in our society?
They're scaring me. They know can I take action anytime.
What would my old friend, David's father, think of what his son has become? I could never have foreseen this man I knew as a child becoming a serial rapist who spreads deadly disease. I never want to see David again, but before I go, I want to ask one last question. In your lifetime as you were growing up, have you been sexually abused?
Yes, Mr. Goldie. I was around 14 to 15 years that time. The police, they're starting to treat me like a wife, then they sex with me.
You were sodomized. So you learned it from there, then you took it with you. You started doing it outside. I have seen and heard things during the making of this film that even I, a crime reporter who has lived half his life in Diepsloot, cannot believe. The vicious cycle seems to have no end.
And I thought, we think we have it real bad here. That is really, really bad. And we know of situations where that happens. It doesn't need to happen here, okay? But that is because of poverty and lack of concern for people, and you know, you can name so many things. Let's don't have that happen here. and they're supposed to be very wealthy country, lots of oil and all of that, you know. You think oil brings money to you? Well, you better know what you're doing with it. If not, it doesn't make a difference. All right? Okay, we're going to take some calls. My operator will put the number on the screen, and we just have a few minutes. We're going to take some calls and see how best we can help some persons who can get through very quickly. You know, we just need to, I guess, pray more and focus more and you know, just do what we have to do to make things better. All right, Valen, just put the number on the screen so people can call, and I'm going to take a couple of calls and you know, see what we can do to help those who are hurting. You know, I know some of you are probably saddened by that. It makes you sad to see how people live like animals, and you know, he has HIV, and he doesn't want to die alone. Imagine that. Like if somebody, you know, somebody made him go out there and get it. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello? Hello?
Turn the noise. You got some noise in your background now.
Yes, turn down the volume. Hey, Dr. Hens.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm okay.
Very good. How can I help you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Charlestown.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I was forced to call you by my son. He's having I think it's fungus, right, in his head. I already went to the doctor, and they gave me some ketoconazole cream and ketoconazole shampoo to treat it. But he still asked me to call you and hear what you might be able to say about it.
That is a fungus that is normally gotten from the barber's blade, I guess.
Barber's blade.
If you go to the barber and he doesn't clean his equipment properly, when he cuts your hair, depending on what he does, how he does it, you know, he gets under the skin.
Yeah.
If the equipment is dirty, that is the end result. And a lot of men have that problem because of the barber. Okay? It came from the barber's blade.
Okay.
And many kids have it because they want their hair to be shaved clean, or some areas to be shaved clean, and many of the barbers don't clean their equipment, or they don't sanitize it. Right? They just kind of brush it off and that's it. But you don't know what's in a person's head that was before you.
Right, that's true.
And you come there after and you pick up something and you don't know how you got it.
Right.
Okay? So I would suggest that everyone who's hearing me, when you come from the barber, go wash your hair. Use a shampoo and wash off whatever you can wash off on the surface. Hopefully nothing got under the skin, and it will help. All right? But let him use the ketoconazole and see how it works, because that is what they would administer. And if it doesn't help him, then we'll have to look at him.
Okay.
But it comes from the barber's tool, okay?
All right, Dr. Hens.
Thanks for calling, okay?
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Dr. Hens?
Yes, quickly.
He's also having the hair loss. That is a result of it too, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The same thing. Yep. The hair does not grow where the fungus is.
Okay.
All right?
All right, then.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye. And when the fungus is gotten rid of, the hair will grow back. All right? But it came from the barber's tool. And I'm admonishing you barbers, even my barber, I brought some things for him so that he can use, you know, to sanitize his equipment, right? Because most barbers just brush off the equipment, don't even use any water. They should use alcohol on it, you know, have some alcohol spray or some disinfectant spray that you can spray on the equipment, and then you clean the equipment along with the spray, right? But even your brush that you use to clean the equipment with should be sanitized, because the fungus could be on the brush also, okay? But this is this is a fungus that attacks a lot of the children, especially. I see some big people with it too, you know, people who are adults and so. But that's from the barber's tool. And, you know, the ketoconazole is what is administered normally by the conventional source. And most times it works, but you may have to stay in it for a while. But next time you go to the barber, make sure that before he puts anything in your head to cut your hair, that he doesn't use an old blade, number one. Number two, that he sanitizes his tools that he's going to be using to put in your hair. All right? Now, The other thing I wanted to mention to you guys, and to you folks, I shouldn't say guys because you have ladies out there watching, and sorry about that. But the other thing I want to say to you too is that we are still finding lots of STDs in people. You know, some of it is from old, some of it fresh, new, and I don't know where the lapse is occurring, but it's not easy. It's creating problems for some persons, and it will eventually create problems for those who have it, even though you know, persons have it or would have had it, and they would have taken maybe some antibiotics or something. The symptoms may go away, but the condition remains dormant in your system, and you can transmit it dormant from person to person. And eventually you'll get your prostate, or it'll get your urinary system, or it will get your uterus, or your ovaries, you know, or your cervix, and you may end up having serious issues, even in your breast. Okay, we're finding it in people, and it's all over the place. You know, the other thing is the papillomavirus. You know, we see that almost every day, all the time. And why is it so rampant? Well, everybody wants to shake a hand. You know, you can transmit that from a handshake. It can also be sexually transmitted. But we need to be more conscious and understand that these are different times. These are not olden times or olden days when diseases were not so rampant. We have, you know, thousands of diseases out there. I mean, it's all sorts of things. And when you shake a person's hand, you don't know where that hand was before it came to you. You know, some hands are sweaty. When you shake the hand, it's sweaty. Some hands are sticky. You know, I mean, of course, there's some people with clean hands, but the average hand is not. And we forget that we shake those hands, and we go out there and we buy things, or we put our hands in food, sandwiches and plantain chip and peanuts and mithai and all those things. And the same dirty hand that we hold, or we shook the other person's hands with, we take that same hand and we use it to eat with. And guess what you did? Whatever the fungus was, or the bacteria, or virus that was on that person's hand is now into your mouth. You know? And may God help us, man. God help us. It's really sad what is happening. And we don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I have some answers. I can't. Some people will not believe what I say. That's fine. You have your own right to believe or not to believe. But you know, most of the time you end up at the clinic. And if you had followed what I'm saying, you wouldn't. You know? Good evening.
Hi, good evening, Dr. Lind.
Good evening to you, and how are you today?
Not too bad.
Very good.
Actually, I'm calling concerning my wife.
Mm-hmm.
She's been having headaches and upset feelings. She's feeling upset.
Upset all the time?
Yes, Dr. Lind.
How old is your wife?
43.
And she's not pregnant?
No, sir.
And she doesn't have high blood pressure?
No, sir. She suffers from low blood pressure, too.
Well, she can have low blood pressure, she can have low blood count, she can have low blood sugar, and any one of those three can help her to cause her to have that problem. And or she can have salmonella, which is a bacteria that she could have gotten into her system from something she had to eat. She can have E. coli, which can also cause those headaches and nausea feeling, you know, which is another bacteria. All right? The fact that she's nauseated and have these headaches is an indication that she has something happening there that needs to be addressed. Have you taken her to a doctor or a clinic or anything?
Yes, doctor. She saw a number of doctors, but no help whatsoever.
So why don't you bring her to the clinic? Make an appointment, you know.
Yeah, I already did that, but one more question I wanted to ask.
When did they give you a date to come?
The 18th of September.
Listen, she's in a state where where she needs help urgently, I think. So
Yes, sir.
you get her there one day next week early. When I say early, there are people there like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay? Even though she has a September date, it's an urgent situation. Get her there early one day and let's take a look at her and we'll find what's wrong with her. That way we can get her, get her some relief, okay?
Okay, no problem. Any day, Monday to Friday.
Next week.
Thank you, Dr. Haynes.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Doc.
Yeah, I'm going to say this to all of you too. I know it's kind of booked up and it's busy, and I do see persons in different parts of the world, but if it's critical, get there early in the morning, between 6:30, 7:30, 8 o'clock, and they're not going to turn you away, even though you have an appointment that's somewhere down the road. They're not going to do that. Good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Haynes.
Good evening. You got to be quick, okay?
Yes, Doc. I got a very stubborn fungus on the head, man.
Did you get it from the barber too?
I did get you.
Did you get it from the barber?
I am not sure, Dr. Haynes.
Is it eating away your hair?
I'm bald.
Oh, you're bald.
Yeah.
So the fungus looks like spots on your head?
Yes. I would have tried all the azoles already. It would tend to go, but then after 2 weeks, it comes back again.
And the same medicine wouldn't always work.
So that's why I'm calling to find out about your health.
All right. Well, we have to examine what the fungus is. We can find it. I know several of the funguses that can cause that.
Very
Okay.
well, doctor.
So what you do, you call the clinic, make an appointment.
Very well,
They're
doctor.
going
I'll
to
do
give
that.
they're going to give you a long day because it's busy.
Oh,
But you get there early. Make sure we're working that day you want to come. Never mind they give you a long date. Get there early, between 7 and 8, 6:30, 8 o'clock, and they're not going to turn you away.
thank you very much, doctor.
You're welcome.
You take care.
All right, that's it. Bye-bye. All right, let me mention this quickly. I just remembered that, remember I told you that my mentor, my teacher, who taught me to do this diagnostic in Russia, is coming? Well, she's going to be here from Monday. Okay? It's a good time if you have a serious problem that you don't have a solution to, and you've done everything that you can. She's an expert in diagnosis, and she taught me my diagnostic skills, and she's going to be here Monday. And let me tell you something. If you got a problem, I'm not kidding you, I don't care who you are, if you got a problem that you cannot resolve, get there next week somehow. Early, between 6:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30, get there. She's going to be there with me, and she will advise us, and she will help me to help you if I don't know, You want to use her skills, all right? Last final call. Good evening. Quickly. Good evening.
Good evening.
The time is up, but I'll try to help you quickly.
And I was listening to your program, and I know that it's not only shaking hands, but taking fruits from off the road. Some people would tell you when you go to buy,
Yes.
taste it, you're see.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
That happened to me, and I taste the awara, and when I come home, my mouth is in a state.
Oh, my.
Then I tell you, and then I tell persons I don't eat nothing from off the market or anywhere.
No, make sure you sanitize it.
If I don't carry it home and look after it, I am eating it. Whether guinea or what. Because they're on the road and the dust passing.
And everything else. And sometimes they wash. Sometimes they wash in dirty water.
Right.
Perfect.
But it's very true.
Perfect.
Taking of people's hands and eating food that isn't washed, you got to be very careful. Because even if the fruit is washed,
You sanitize it again.
the person that is selling, sometimes they hardly wash.
There you go. Because they're handling money, they're handling everything at the same time.
They got to be very careful.
They're handling the money, and they're going to take that fruit with the same hand and put it in the bag for you.
So true. It's so true.
So we don't know what's on the hand. We don't know what was on the money. Money is one of the most
Dirty thing.
if we can use that word, dirtiest instruments. Even though it's good to have,
Yeah.
it's not clean
Indeed.
because it goes all over and you don't know where it was.
Yeah.
Right? So my thing is like, I appreciate you making that that submission. Fruits, vegetables, your greens, your produce, everything, sanitize it.
I could remember you were saying you did some kind of salad or something.
Oh yes. And I got
Yeah, I love it.
And I got sick.
The extra care.
We're living in some serious times.
Yes, Dr. Hayes.
And we have to be cautious because what you put in your mouth will make a difference in what happens to you next.
The lady speaking to you is the lady who's there with the little girl who I tell you don't like to go on the plane and so on.
Oh, yeah.
That's the country right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Already, see, look at that. She's gone on summer vacation. Well, you can tell her hello from me, okay?
All right.
Well, you take care, thanks for your contribution, and you have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful holiday, okay?
I could not have been speaking to you here right now because I was coming from the back road in East Pennsylvania Post Office. Where I met with an accident. A young lady walking with her purse and threw the purse and hooked my cycle and sent me crawling on the ground.
Wow.
And you know, I just tell people, say your prayers in the morning before you get
You never know what happens.
You know, when I fall down there, I fall on my knees. Right now, I'm nursing this knee because it's gas.
Wow.
About 12 inches from my head, two SB2 truck came out.
You kidding me?
I'm telling you, about 12 inches from my head. Two heavy-duty trucks, you know, this truck was going in the bush. Two of them, 12 inches away from my head. I say it was God's mercy because I would not have been here today.
Well, the angel that was assigned to you was at work
Yeah.
and provided the protection that you needed.
So that young lady, she tried to pick me up, but she couldn't pick me up because she has no big body mass, right?
Wow.
To walk away and if you look back to say A, B, C, or D.
That's how much we care.
And I spent in the hospital. They said Tuesday into the Wednesday, they had to put the foot on the X-ray and put it in a cast.
Wow.
Yesterday the cast came off from the 3rd of July. And up to now, I can't manage fully on the foot.
Well, you get a heating pad and make sure you put the heating pad on to remove any fluids and so that will build up, and that can help to bring about healing fast,
The
okay?
doctor did tell me to put on ice,
Ice is when it just happened.
but I can't
No, when it just happened, you put the ice. It's already happened for over 2 weeks. You put the heating pad on it.
Okay.
All right, my dear?
Put it in hot water. You
No, not hot water. Get a heating pad, and you apply the heat moderately on it and leave it there for like half an hour, 45 minutes.
know what I mean? The heating pad, thing like a cloth you get and hot it near the stove or what?
No, they have heating pads that you can plug in.
Oh, well, I know that.
Then if you have a hot water bottle, then you would, just put the hot water in the bottle and just make sure you keep it on the spot in the area.
Okay.
But I prefer a heating pad, okay?
I've got to get somebody to get that.
You can get it. One of the good pharmacies will have it, all right?
Okay, but I can't meet outside there to get it.
No, get somebody to pick it up for you that you can trust.
All right then.
Thanks for calling, okay, and the input.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Look at that. 12 inches from her head. Anyway, I want to thank you for participating. I hope that something helped you today. And again, let's remember that we're humans. Let's learn to live and love each other. Okay? Because if we don't, what's going to happen to us? All right? Dr. Haynes saying good night. God bless you. And so long. Pray for joy. Okay? Pray for Christiana and her family over the death of her father. And y'all be good to each other. Thank you. So long.